Hi everyone. One, I want to apologize for lighting. Two, I want to apologize for the fans. It has been warm out here, so we have the fans and the air conditioners going. Today this video is going to be pretty Christian. I mean, you may not be a Christian, and you still might want to watch. um, I was talking to someone today about some of the stuff that they feel and see, and that they're feeling like they're crazy, and I just felt the need to um, come home and make you guys a video about spiritual gifts. There's a lot of things that happen to you in your life, and you may think that it's a negative thing that's happening to you, feelings that you get, or something that you might sense or see. Um, God gave us all gifts when we were born, and of course, as we travel through the world, being humans, we pick up a lot of negative stuff, and we start hearing that these things are bad, and that we shouldn't be feeling this way, or we shouldn't be seeing these things. And then I'm talking about things like schizophrenia and other mental disorders that the world might tell you that you have that actually aren't really what they think they are. But I mean, they're going through the psychology of your brain. And so, I mean, you start telling them that you're seeing these things or you're having these visions. And of course, they're going to think that you're crazy. People thought I was crazy. Um, but it doesn't mean that you necessarily are. And that's what I want to kind of talk about, because there's people in this world that have these gifts from God that cause things that the world may think are schizophrenic or not normal. But it's all in perspective. That's what I was telling someone today. I get a sense for things. I feel things around me. I'm very empathic. I sense moods. I sense negative type energy. And there's other things that I've sensed my whole life. And I have deja vus a lot. And to me, it's either I've had a dream about it, or it's something telling me that something is going on, or that something's going to happen. And I don't believe in premonitions. However, I do believe in prophecy. And I think that it is a gift from God to have prophecy, but not to the point where we're predicting the future. It's more that God's telling us this is the direction that we're going, and this is what's going to happen if we stay on that direction, or something's coming for the church, or for mankind. But it's like Nostradamus. We were talking about Nostradamus today. I do not think he was crazy. I think he was very intuitive. And when you have a very creative mind, like some people do, and a mind that can look past the physical world and imagine a more spiritual world or a path that the world could be on, then those predictions will come, because you're seeing past where you're at. It's not that you're seeing into the future, it's that your imagination can understand the path that you're on. That's how I see it. In the Bible, it does talk about spiritual gifts, and when I post this video, I will put verses down below. There are places online where you can go to take a spiritual gifts test, and it might help you understand some of the things that you're feeling or going through. Empaths a lot of times will feel, especially if there's a lot of negative energy out there, they'll sense that, and it will make them very anxious. And sometimes the reaction to what you're feeling, it's a gift, but some people take it wrong and think it's a bad thing because they don't want to feel what they're feeling. But it's a gift so that you can either deal with what's in front of you and repair it, or you can share your story to help the person in front of you, or you can walk away. I was telling someone today, when we see things like that, or when we sense things like that, or feel things like that, there is a choice. And that's what we're being given. You're being shown this, or God's helping you to feel this, so that you can choose to walk away or run into the fire, so to speak. And the whole thing about all these other things that people may call crazy is your perspective. If you've got a very negative perspective of life, then some of the gifts that you get from God may feel negative and they may feel like they're more torture or hell to you. But if you see them as a gift and you find them more positive, then you can work through them and you can realize, you can put your foot down on the ground and realize that that's the reality where you're at right now. And whatever you're seeing or feeling is something else to be dealt with. It's either your imagination or it's, some kind of gift telling you to walk away or to run into the fire. Like I said, I've repeated that like 5 times now. But it's all in how you look at it. So when those things start happening to you, and even if you're not a Christian, you can still turn around to God and say, I need help with this, or I need this fixed, or, guide me. In Jesus' name, leave. There's all kinds of things that you can say and do to bring yourself back to reality. I once was standing at my friend's door, and she lived on a dirt road, and it was really dark, and I'm afraid of dogs. Well, I was knocking on her door, and I heard a dog barking at like 2 blocks away. So I knocked a little bit harder, and I turned around to look, and the dog was on the corner. So I banged on the door, and she still wasn't answering. So I ran to my car and got in my car and looked over for the dog, and there was no dog. My imagination can make my brain see things like that. That's how incredible my imagination can get. But to someone who doesn't understand that that's their imagination, they'd probably be pretty freaked out. They might even think that they're schizophrenic. But when you have an imagination that can imagine things like that, it can really make your world kind of get out of control. Especially if you're fearful, anxious, or you don't have any kind of like direction in your life. If there's instability around you or your life is kind of unsure, it's easy to let those things get a hold of you. And I want to tell you that you're not the only one that goes through that. There is a reason for those gifts. And if you take the time to understand what's reality and what's not reality, and you start to allow yourself to realize this is a positive thing, then you can start to find the positive within it and what it's supposed to mean for you. So that is what I pray for you this week. That you learn that you're not crazy, you're not alone, and that we do get gifts from God, and that they are a positive thing when we choose to look at them as a positive thing, and that you find that you figure out that your reality is not as negative as you think, and that you can find your way through to understand the gifts that God's given you, and realize that you're not crazy. And again, you're not alone. In Jesus' name, I pray that for you. If you have any questions, if you'd like to talk to anybody about it, feel free to get a hold of me on here or on Facebook at HM Weimer. I do have a master's degree in sociology, and I've done some counseling. So I have a master's in divinity also. If you need some help, please reach out to somebody, even if it's not me. And again, you can look for your spiritual gifts test online, and it may help you understand what you're going through. Thanks for listening, and as always, believe and make it so.